Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Earth's Mightiest Comics. This is the show where every week we talk about the new comics that came out that week and say if we like them, and if we didn't like them, recommend them to anybody listening to this as to whether or not we think that they're worth reading. This week, some of that stuff includes, we got a new Flash series that started from the creative team of Simon Spurrier and Mike Deodato Jr., Also got the latest issue of Immortal Thor, Avengers, and also Green Arrow is back. And then also we have the finale of Ultimate Invasion and what's looking like it's about to kick off the new Ultimate Universe here, rather. So, you know, in terms of volume, not a huge week, but certainly there's some stuff here to talk about. But I'm thinking here, Sebastian,
yes.
Maybe we start with The Flash, because it's one of the bigger releases this week.
Yeah, okay.
So, like I said, this is the Flash #1. This is from, like I said, creators Simon Spurrier on the writing duties and Mike Deodato Jr. on the art. So I did not read the previous Flash run. That was written by Jeremy Adams. I am going in fresh on this. I've read some Flash here and there, but not a whole lot. I've read a little bit of the start of Joshua Williamson's run, and that's essentially it.
Yeah.
Also, it's important to note that, first of all, there will be spoilers for all of these comics that we talk about, and also that there are time codes in the description if you want to skip around to anything in particular. But also, this is Wally West in the lead and not Barry Allen. It's not Barry Allen Flash, it's Wally Flash. So I already kind of know how you feel about this one, but for the audience, what do you think about this one?
Right. So I went in here thinking, honestly, that I was going to like this. I like The Flash. I've read some of the previous Flash run, like very snippets when I decided to like try and get back into comics. Flash was always my go-to, and then I would read like 5 and then forget about comics for like 15 years. But
now you can't forget about it because we do this show.
I cannot. No, yeah. But man, I did not enjoy this at all, honestly. I didn't like the art, first of all. I think that's like my least favorite.
Okay, interesting.
About this. Story-wise, it ended on a cliffhanger with the introduction of what I'm assuming is another evil speedster, because that's always what they do at this point, it seems. But yeah, besides that, it's just a bunch of gorillas fighting these like other speedsters from things. I don't really understand it. I didn't really get it that much, but they absolutely mauled some child into a weird creature. That's pretty much it. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all this story was. I feel like was just these gorillas, the gorillas. That was it.
Yeah, kind of. There is a little bit of a mystery about like something weird going on with the Speed Force, which is also that happens quite often. There's also the potential breakdown of Wally and Linda's marriage. That takes up a decent chunk of the issue as well. Yeah, so overall, I'm not as hard on this as you are, but I see why you are. I don't think this was great, and actually, I think I started out being like, okay, this is kind of cool. I like where this is going. Because I knew I had seen your rating for it before I read this, so I was like, I wonder why Sebastian rated it so low. And as it went on, I kind of got it more. I think part of it is also this issue is 40 pages and it's dense. So if you don't 100% gel with what's going on, it's a bit of a slog. That being said, I think there's stuff here that is interesting, and I am curious to see where this could go. I like the angle of them turning Flash into like this weird cosmic horror book. I've heard it pitched as Immortal Hulk, but with the Flash, which is not really what I got from this.
No.
But I think it's interesting, and yeah, it didn't really gel with me 100%. I think there's a lot of it is pretty slow for a lot of it, I think, and again, it is very dense. I didn't mind the art. I think the art's pretty cool, actually. It doesn't always fit necessarily, but I don't think it's bad. So yeah, I don't know with this one. I'm going to give this one at least one more, actually. Like I said, I do think there's potential here for something cool. And the points where it leans into the horror stuff, there's a couple pages in there where I'm like, this is really cool, and I'm interested to see where this is. So I want to see more of that stuff. But right now, Yeah, not 100% sure on this. Also, I don't really know much about Wally. I haven't read much with him in it, so I don't really know if he's being written out of character here, but I don't. Sometimes I felt like he was maybe being written a little bit out of character. But that could just be me. I don't know much about Wally.
I'm gonna give it more. I don't like to just drop things just off the first one. I'll give this one at least one more. I mean, I just don't know how much. Like I said, I'm not gelling with this art too much.
Huh. Okay.
To be honest.
Interesting. Yeah. What is it about it that you're not gelling with?
I feel like it switches It switches from like the 2D regular to points where it almost looks like the Cole type of art, where it's like a bit 3D-ish.
Yeah.
And it keeps switching back and forth, and some of the backgrounds are literally just like dots, like some debris. Like this dude's pants right here are literally just dots. When I don't get it. I
don't know. I didn't love this, but I didn't think it was terrible. I marked it as a 5 out of 10. I'm waffling between a 5 and a 6. I think there's potential here. I guess I'll keep it at 5 for now, but it's not. It's like it's probably like more like a 5.5-ish if I gave half ratings on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my 3. I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with my 3. 3.
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's harsh. That's harsh, Sebastian.
Yeah, it probably is. But I'm gonna. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna talk about the next number 1. Then I want to talk about Power Girl. All right, Power Girl. Written by Leah Williams. I think artist is Eduardo Panciso.
Pansica, yeah.
Pancica.
Yeah.
This one, I was reading it, and the beginning at first, I read this one right after Flash, so I was like, oh man,
what a breath of fresh air.
And no, honestly, I was like, frick. I started reading things and I was like, damn, another really bad number 1. And then I don't know why, but as I read, it just grew on me a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this one's better than the Flash. I definitely liked the art more, that's for sure. This one I think is gonna drop off though. I just get that feeling. But right now, I don't think it's that bad. The beginning is Power Girl basically making her alter ego more known in the world as she brings forth some technology that's never been done before, something like that. That's supposed to heal the world. That's what it is. It's supposed to heal the world, like every tech mogul and every comic ever. But yeah, and so then this guy comes in and obviously disrupts them. And I guess he has a weapon that could actually hurt Kryptonians. That's not just kryptonite.
Is it magic?
It's not magic either. Because I know magic is also a weakness.
Yeah, right.
But no, it's this gun thing. I don't know exactly what it does.
Okay.
But it hurt Power Girl. That's all I know. And I'm not... Oh, his motive was that he said all Kryptonians are evil and that they're just world conquerors and stuff like that. And so... But it's weird, right? So
yeah.
Has
he ever heard of Kryptonians? Does he know who Superman is?
I don't know. I guess okay, so it's again weird because Power Girl was I'm not your traditional Kryptonian, and he said, I know you're not from Krypton or something like that. She's from another Krypton, I think.
I think she's a clone of Supergirl is what it is. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, basically he was I know you're not I don't know, something weird like that. But basically he fricked off. Power Girl went back to her apartment where Superman was waiting, and he was pissed off for again some reason. I guess he doesn't want her out in public. I didn't really understand that part.
Okay.
But I guess there is a disease, a Kryptonian disease that I guess she unwillingly released by existing. And he's sending her to the Antarctic so they can study it and cure it.
Fortress of Solitude or just a random place?
I think it's he said a Fortress of Solitude.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the traditional one, but it's
yeah.
a
Gotcha.
Fortress of Solitude. And yeah, that's where it ends.
Huh.
The thing that interested me the most was the Kryptonian disease.
That does sound kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like that'll be interesting. But once that ends, I'm not sure about it.
Okay.
Because besides that, I was a bit less lost. Like the dude that came in and just like fricked off, like he just blew up the boat. That's kind of all he did.
Yeah.
And just threatened everybody else. But yeah,
Well, also like, does he like Supergirl and Superman both are just like there are a lot of things, but none of them are world conquerors. So I just don't know what Kryptonian reference point this guy is thinking of.
Yeah, I think okay. I gotta search this up real quick. I don't.
To be fair, I think Superman is kind of I think he's kind of invincible in the Viltrumites in a lot of ways with the Kryptonians just kind of being all assholes and stupid for a lot of it. But
yeah.
The Earth ones have never been really.
Yeah, I don't really know. Okay, so here is his exact quote. Kryptonians are parasites, finding other races, other planets, and declaring them lesser by your standards and therefore deserving of your interference in their natural evolution. My world is dead because of you. And she says, I'm from a different Krypton. See? I guess he didn't know that she was from a different Krypton, but he just says, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I think past the disease part, this one's not going to do as well. It's not going to be as interesting, but
yeah,
the disease part intrigued me enough to be like, okay, I enjoyed this.
Okay.
But I gave it a 6.
All right. Fair
which
enough.
honestly, I feel like it's probably a bit high, but I'm gonna stick with it
Gotcha.
as well.
All right. Well, I guess I can talk about one that I did that you did not do. I'll talk about Blade number 3. So you've read the first one.
I have. I really got to catch up on this one.
Yeah. This series is okay. It's so it's written by Brian Hill and the artist is Elena Casagrande, which great artist. She's everything I've seen from this artist I've really liked. With the exception of the previous 2 issues, because the coloring felt super dark and weird. I mentioned that a couple of times in the past couple episodes we talked about this. But the coloring just made it super hard to see a lot of the times. It was just so dark. But there's a new colorist on this issue, and it's much brighter. So the art looks really good, and I'm all for that. That looks really cool. Story-wise, I'm still pretty much squarely in the category of this is pretty good, but it's not amazing. This one essentially picks up. We did a little bit more stuff with the Adana and her doing weird world conquering, universe destroying stuff at the start, and then there's some stuff with there's a very brief action sequence at the start with Blade, and then essentially the rest of this issue revolves around the fact that they are going to plan a heist on this big nonstop, never stopping train where this person that can make a weapon to kill the Adana. So they have to heist this train and it's full of vampires. So that's going to be next issue. And at the end of this one, Doctor Strange shows up, and I guess he's going to be there helping them do the heist as well. So next issue sounds really cool, actually. And one thing I will say for this, the previous 2 issues, I've complained about the fact that the cliffhangers are in really weird spaces. I still think this issue's paced a little bit weirdly, but the cliffhanger actually feels like a good place to cut off the issue and be an actual cliffhanger. So props on that front, I guess. But yeah, other than that, I don't have too much to say on this one. I think it's very solid right now. I kind of always says I'm pretty constantly looking for stuff to drop from my pull list because it's very large right now, and so I'm always kind of like, what could be dropping? So this is still in the position of like, it's possible. This is like along the lines of like Guardians as well, where it's like I am looking at this as a potential thing I could cut, but for now it's just good enough to stay afloat. Whereas Guardians may have actually gotten past that point. Guardians I may not be reading this time. We'll see. But yeah, so this is still I'm still going issue to issue on this one. I think it's solid enough right now. And next issue sounds cool. So I gave this one. This is a square 7 out of 10 for me. This is just squarely in that area.
All right.
So I think I'm on the lower end. I think most people like this more than I do. But I think it's pretty solid, but not amazing.
Let's see here. Let's talk about Storm #5. Last one of this mini series. Yeah, honestly, I stuck with this a bit too long. Because man, oh man, did this series not suck, but it really wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I think overall, I think I gave most of these like 5s or 6s, and this one's no less. Just straight up the bat, I'm gonna tell you, I gave it a 5.
Yeah.
I feel like it like came with like a message to basically be like let go of your fears or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically, so Storm the entire time wasn't losing control of her powers like she thought. It was, I guess, another. I don't know if it was like a mutant or if it was like something from like it was like an alien from like another area or something like that. I don't know if that I don't remember if they explained that very well, but basically he could also control the weather, and he was the like alter ego of Storm's love interest, which I forgot his name.
Right.
It was forgettable.
It's Blowback, right?
Yeah, Blowback is the weird alien thing, and
right.
then I don't remember what the dude's name was. And so, but yeah, it was basically just them defeating Blowback finally this time, and they did it by making his Blowback's alter ego, the human version of him. It's Travis. Travis is his name.
Okay.
Basically, feel shame, and so that when he would turn back into Blowback, I guess he could like control him. I don't know. I feel like there was like 3 actual identities. One was the evil Blowback, one was the human one, and then one was like the remorseful one that like didn't want to do any bad, but did like I don't know. It was kind of confusing. But like basically he tore open a hole in the sky, Storm shoved him in and then closed it. And then realized that she could control the weather fine the entire time. It was not good. But yeah, not much to say. Art the same. I still enjoyed the art. It's that old timey bit art. It's mid.
I'll just talk about Godzilla War for Humanity, because that's the only other one I think I read that you didn't. So I read the first 2 issues. This is issue 2 that just came out this week. Okay, it's Andrew McLean is the writer and Jake Smith is the artist. So I distinctly remember when issue 1 came out, I purposefully skipped it because I like Godzilla, but I saw the cover and I was like, I don't know if this art style will be for me. It is a different artist on the interior, and yeah, the art's fucking awesome, man. It's like super. It's so good. It's like really nice, and it's just very clean, and it's almost like kind of cartoony in a sense, but it's also like then you still have stuff. I actually compare it to Invincible in this aspect, where it's like kind of this clean, cartoony style in a lot of ways, but then you get to a point and there's just like arms being ripped off, like one of the kaiju rips off the arm of another kaiju in this, but it's kind of juxtaposed with this very kind of light cartoony style, but the art's very good. This is essentially the plot here is that a new kaiju called Zoospora pops up and starts essentially like possessing other kaiju, and it's essentially just trying to kill all the humans so that the Earth can heal again. So Godzilla's off doing some stuff on Monster Island. I guess it looks like Godzilla has a kid right now. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case. But yeah, this is essentially it's just this group of scientists trying to reach Godzilla so Godzilla can come in and help them beat back the flood of evil kaiju now. So now Mothra's coming to help drag Godzilla back to the mainland as well to help out there. Yeah. So yeah, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. It's it's fun. The art looks great. It's it's just a nice, fun, solid Godzilla monster series that is it's not taking itself too seriously, but it's just a lot of fun to read. It's the first Godzilla series I think I've ever really read in comics, but I love Godzilla. I've always loved Godzilla before Marvel or any of the things that the things that I love now. Godzilla I think was really the first thing that I really loved as a kid. So I've always got a soft spot for this character, and yeah, the series is good so far. So definitely gonna keep going with it. I gave this an 8 out of 10, probably for both issues, I think. So yeah, good stuff.
All right, nice. Yeah. I should probably find a Godzilla comic because I also really like Godzilla and
yeah.
those.
There's that other IDW one. Here there be dragons.
Yeah, here there be dragons. Yeah.
But the other thing is, Sebastian, like very soon we've got the DC Godzilla
exactly.
crossover, so we'll be reading some Godzilla stuff anyway.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, yeah, we'll just wait at this point. Yeah. All right. Spirit World number 5.
So I was gonna read this, but I just didn't end up getting around to it in time.
Yeah. So in this one, we get introduced to the, like, kind of like the gods of the underworld, as I think how they're explained. There's 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of them. Yeah, and so that's what it starts out with, us getting introduced to them, and then it gets to a point where
Xanthi, I think.
Yeah, Xanthi. They're still with Cassandra and Constantine, and they're trying to get back down to like the main part of the underworld. And someone starts controlling Cassandra and Constantine, and they start attacking Xanthi. And so they kind of learn how a new kind of power that their grandma taught. It's like a binding type spell. And then they reach the bottom part of the underworld, and one of the gods is fighting the weird demon thing that's like trying to destroy the spirit world. And they kind of just fall in between both of them. And next issue, it seems like they're gonna have to. It kind of seems like they're gonna have to fight both of them because the god didn't seem to really enjoy Xanthi being there, because he's like, you're living and dead. And he also made a weird comment about him missing killing living beings towards Cassandra and Constantine. So yeah, that's what the next one's gonna be about. It's just gonna be like a big fight scene, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. I quite enjoyed this one. I didn't think it was that bad. Just a lot of fighting. Some things got explained a bit. One thing I didn't mention was, I guess, Xanthi's grandmother might be a god.
Okay.
Might be. It kind of left it a little vague, but I guess the staff is the exact same one the Emerald God has. I don't know, but we shall see about that one, I guess. And yeah, this one's honestly shaping up to be pretty good.
Yeah, I really liked the first 3 issues. I didn't love issue 4, and I think that's why this one kind of ended up towards the bottom of my stash, as I was just going through the rest of the stuff this week. But I am planning to finish it.
But I gave it a 7. I gave it a 7.
I'm assuming the art is still very good.
Art same, still really good, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Very colorful.
All right. What say we knock out the 2 events related series we've got this week?
Alrighty. Let's go Avengers.
Okay, so this is Avengers Annual number 1. This is the finale to the Contest of Chaos, the second event that we have fully covered on the show now.
Yeah.
It's all right, I think.
Yeah,
I think the end is weird.
The end is definitely weird. Figured, honestly, there'd be a bit more fight between the evil, like the Chaos-controlled people, and then the actual Avengers.
Yeah, there's not much of that.
There's not much of that, really. What else?
Also, now I understand why Carol and Tony had to lose their fights so they could be present, because they're in this current lineup of the Avengers. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been there.
Yes. And, Carol obviously makes the statement about how, like, we've been controlled before, like, don't mess around. And then she also, like, gets back at Cyclops by absolutely knocking him.
Interesting thing I'm noticing just now, Steve Rogers' Captain America is on this cover, but he is not in the comic.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
I just noticed that as well.
Yeah. So again, it's fine. It's very much just kind of a quick wrap up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Agatha doesn't finish the Darkhold, and we still don't really know why she was trying to make it.
Nope.
Like, we do vaguely, like, she thought that chaos magic would just run rampant across Earth and destroy it, but we don't. That's a very vague answer. So, and then it ends with the Darkhold is now a person,
But
so
do you think she's still in our
I don't
universe?
know. I don't know. I was wondering if this is like it's in her consciousness or something now.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit vague. So I don't know. And I guess they're setting up for some sort of sequel. I don't really want one though.
Yeah, they did say that. Yeah, it wasn't there.
Yeah, I just, and I like Agatha as a character recently. I think she's gotten a bit of a boost in terms of appearances since WandaVision. But I don't know if I want a specific sequel to this story. So I don't know. I think I don't really have too many thoughts on the issue as a whole, this issue on its own, as I do about the event as a whole. I think really to the point where, this really does just wrap up everything.
Yeah, it really does.
It's a very safe kind of big brawl issue that nothing really happens in, despite it being the conclusion. I don't think it was bad though. It's fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
That being said, I initially rated this a 7, but I think I'm going to drop it to 6, just so it's like, it's not bad. It's on its own, I think this issue is maybe a 7, but I think as a conclusion to this event, it's pretty underwhelming. So I think I'm going to give it a 6 for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because they have a book, it's just not finished.
Yeah, that's the other thing. But it also seems like the chaos magic and all the energy and magic from it just got kind of expelled in that big blast, and now it's just a dead book, it seems. So
yeah, exactly. So it's like I don't really know that they have a physical thing. There's a Darkhold, just no chaos magic in it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I also gave this a 6.
Okay. As for the event as a whole, though, where do you fall on this now, having completed it?
Man, I honestly thought it was going to be a lot different.
I know you said that. This is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
I don't know. I really thought it was going to be a bit more like contest of like the contest of champions and stuff.
I've never read that. Yeah.
But man, yeah, I just thought it was going to be a lot more like actual fighting rather than just like arguing over a weird purple gem or something like that,
I don't know. This is exactly what I thought it was going to be. I think the fights were there, but they were underwhelming for a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think this whole event from the start, it's like clearly this is just a bad excuse to try and get hero versus hero fights for the next couple months. And some of them were fine. Don't get me wrong. I like the Fantastic Four one quite a bit. But yeah, I just think it's just a very. This is like corporate Marvel, I think, like the epitome of corporate Marvel. Let's just do a generic bland event with heroes versus heroes fighting, and that's just kind of all it felt like to me. So I think though, Sebastian, for every event going forward, since Night Terrors was the first event that we ever fully covered on this channel, we should compare every event, not with a number score, but by saying whether it's better or worse than Night Terrors, and that's how we do our event rankings or ratings.
All right.
So what do you think on this one?
I'm just going to say better because Night Terrors was too much.
I absolutely disagree. I think this is worse than Night Terrors.
You're telling me you would rather slog through another Night Terrors than read this?
Listen, the lows of Night Terrors were probably worse than the lows in this series. Although the Iron Man issue was really bad. But I think at least Night Terrors was trying something. It was interesting, right? It was trying to do something. Yes, there were too many tie-ins. There was a ridiculous amount of them, and most of them were bad. But there were some good ones in there. There were some really cool creative ones, and the highs of that series got really high. And I think so, based on the fact that the core series of Night Terrors, I think, was solid, and it at least did some big swings, even if it didn't always land them. I think Night Terrors was better than this. I'm not saying I'd rather read Night Terrors again over. Well, maybe I would though. Actually, I mean,
oh man,
maybe not all of Night. Maybe not all of Night Terrors, because it's like 50 issues compared to 9. But I just think that this is less interesting, and I think I don't really reread comics, but if I did, I would definitely revisit some of Night Terrors over this. I would reread the core Night Terror series easily before this, and there are a couple of times I would read over this as well. So I just think Night Terrors is more interesting, and it was also more fun to talk about each week, I think, as well. This is there's not much we can say about these contest chapters.
There's no way you're saying it was more fun to talk about all the tie-ins in Night Terrors.
No, but I'm saying Night Terrors...
That is literally what you just said. Don't say no to me.
Well, no. What I'm saying is Night Terrors was more interesting to talk about it was more exhausting to talk about. Like, fair enough, but I think like the individual issues talking about them, I had more fun talking about those than I did the bland Concepts of Chaos stuff.
No, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Like, yes, this one also tried something. I think this one struck out in terms of content. This one was a lot more like overall. This one was a lot more mid than Night Terrors. Because like you said, Night Terrors had some really good highs and it had some really bad lows.
Yeah.
But this one, just for me, was either like it didn't have a really high. It was like it was like a good high, and then most of it was like either like okay or just like it wasn't that great.
Yeah, this is consistently mediocre.
Exactly. Yeah. So in that case, yeah, I guess you could. This one, Night Terrors would be better. But I just feel like, man, the slog of just like, because I'm thinking about it as well as like in terms of like reading quality. Like,
yeah,
in that case, I feel like this one has to take like is a walk. Like, it's so much easier than Night Terrors.
I get where, and it is easier than Night Terrors. I think the way I've always looked at it is I always prefer in entertainment when I'm either watching something or playing something or reading something. I much prefer to read something that is a massive swing and a massive whiff. Like they just completely fuck it, but they really go for some stuff, as opposed to just a bland generic thing that I've seen a whole bunch of times. This is very much that. You know, this is gonna be a really weird comparison, but and I also haven't seen one of these movies, but I feel like I would rather watch Cats than Ant-Man and the Wasp, because Ant-Man and the Wasp is boring and generic. Cats is fucking. I haven't seen Cats, but I know how fucking weird it is and just insane and horrifying. But it's like I feel like it'd be more interesting of a watching experience than just a bland, generic movie, right? So that's kind of where I fall on this kind of stuff.
I feel Ant-Man and the Wasp definitely has suffered because of the fact that I feel like because of the fact that it's a Marvel movie and they have to stick to a script now at this point.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it has definitely suffered because of that. But and I get what you're trying to say here.
Yeah.
But I still think I'm still putting this above Night Terrors.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, look out for our review of the movie Cats next week. No, I'm probably never gonna watch that movie. But
I'm never watching that one.
Yeah, it looks horrifying. Okay, so moving on is we're up to Batman / Catwoman : the Gotham War - Red Hood #1 number 1. Is that bit anything? Is that even gonna stay in? Who knows?
Well, please, it's great.
Okay, so this is probably the least essential of the Gotham War stuff thus far, I would say.
Yeah.
It's written by Matthew Rosenberg with art by Nicola Cismezija. I'm so sorry. I'm sure I did not pronounce that last name right.
No, but I mean, come on.
I don't know how you would pronounce that.
I don't blame you.
Anyway, yeah, this is essentially just kind of a side quest showing Jason training some guys trying to get to the Joker, and that's about it. I don't have much to say on this. I think it's very mid, but what do you think on it?
Okay, so it's a bit more than that, but yes. So yeah, most of it is just I couldn't really place if this took place after or before the Catwoman.
It must be after. I think they reference his fight with Bruce.
They reference his fight with Batman, but then like I feel like there's like some parts that I feel like were before that, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's Jason training some specifically 2 henchmen.
Yep.
How to fight, really.
Well, not even how to fight, how to do this thief stuff without injuring anybody.
Yeah, because it was a lot of things. He was training them. Okay, he was training them physically, but also mentally as well. Because there was some mental stuff that he included in there. But like, the whole gist of it was that he's after the Joker, and these 2 had worked for the Joker, and so at some point he like basically turned on them and like threw them over to like a gang to beat them up because they wouldn't tell him where the Joker was.
Yeah, and
we finally see a comeback from one of the bigs, Scarecrow, in this one, and he is clearly trying to mess up Catwoman's plan because he fear toxined one of the people that Red Hood was training.
That was the one scene that stuck out to me as being anything interesting.
Yeah, and
when
so,
Jason walks into the place and it's just this dead body
yes.
with the message. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, well, because of the fear toxin, the like basically the training like all went out the window because he got scared. That Scarecrow was coming after him, and he like almost killed a cop because of it.
Yeah.
And so so when Red Hood goes to find him because he stops showing up at Catwoman's place, he finds is it Batgirl? Yeah, Batgirl, Stephanie Brown.
Yeah, she's one of the I think she used to be known as Spoiler, but yeah, now she's a Batgirl.
It's Batgirl. But yeah, she's there, and she meets Jason there, and they find the henchman dead, with Scarecrow saying like, what was the message?
Well, it wasn't the Scarecrow. I think it was the guy who killed himself, saying like, get your own something, Jason, like get your own people, Jason, and something like that. I don't know 100% remember what it was, but
I thought that they went and killed him because it kind of looked like he had like knives in his hands.
Okay.
Like, and he was like kind of like crucified on the wall a bit. Not entirely, but like,
yeah, right, that's true.
Half. That's what I thought. I don't know. I could be wrong though. But yeah, I think definitely like it wasn't until the end that it was like really, really like I feel like pertaining what was the word I'm looking for? Jesus Christ.
Relates.
Relates. Yes. God. Jesus. Like that's like the ending part is the only part that actually relates. That is relates to the actual story of Gotham War. But yeah, other than that, yeah, nah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's not the worst issue of the series, but I think since outside of the one shot, I think this is the worst. I think, but the Batman and Catwoman issues are both better. This one just felt so mid to me, and to the point where I actually I stopped reading like 75% of the way through, and then I went to go see a movie, and I just finished it when I got back, and I was like, yeah I don't really care.
Yeah, I guess I was more intrigued than you were, because I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was great, but I think it kept me interested enough, especially seeing like Jason and his different, basically how different his methods are compared to like the rest of the Bat family.
Sure,
if you would say, because he completely like wails on just like anybody if he doesn't get his way.
Yeah, I don't know. I think ultimately I just felt like this was not a necessary part of this event, to the point where it's not even labeled as being an official part. Like last week was part 3 with Catwoman, and then next week is part 4 is what it says with Batman. So I don't know. I think this is a weaker issue. I gave this a 6 out of 10. Not awful, but
no, yeah. I gave this a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed the story it was trying to tell between Jason not even just trying to find the Joker, because that part for me wasn't even like that interesting. He's always trying to find the Joker because obviously he killed him. But yeah, just him trying to train these 2 henchmen into being better selves, I guess you could say.
Right.
Just I don't know. I enjoyed it. 7.
Yeah.
Let's do. Oh frick! There's another one that I've read. The oddly pedestrian life of Christopher Chaos.
Oh right.
4. Yeah. This series is picking up a bit. We meet a new character. This one, his name is Adam. We don't learn that until the very end, and he carries them out of the school as they are being chased by the white ghost people, which we learned the name of their organization. And I don't remember it. Yeah, and so he carries them out, and he has an umbrella that can... the Adam character, mind you. The Adam character has an umbrella that can somehow teleport them with lightning. That was interesting. They all kind of had an argument about what to do after they teleported away from the white ghost organization. And at the end, they all joined up as they agreed that they had to do something, because at first it was just Vampire Boy that wanted to go fight, and the other 2, Christopher and Viv, which was Hayden's girlfriend, didn't want to, but it kind of shows in this one that she can I think she can speak to ghosts because she was like petting these ghost cats in her house. And so so they all meet up back up where Adam had originally teleported them, and he invites them in after he himself tells them that they shouldn't get involved, but I guess he just caved in. And then at the very end, they're surrounded by the police because the police dude knows what's going on, and he told the detective lady not to get involved, but she got involved anyway, and so he has to intervene and basically trying to arrest them. And so I think this is shaping up to be really good. At the very end, we saw this like Templar Knight dude, so he's getting introduced now as well, and I think it's gonna get really good. I gave it an 8.
All right. Okay. Do we want to do the Dead Lucky now? I really don't have much to say on this.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That's fine.
So I read the first 2. This is the one that Sebastian made me read. I believe you read issue 4, right?
I read issue 4.
So neither of us will be talking about the new one, but I think this is not bad, actually. I think this is one of the better ones that you've made me read.
Yeah.
I still think I like this more than Road Sun.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I only read the first 2. I'm not going to go too much into a plot breakdown because I know Sebastian's talked about that on a previous episode. But I think conceptually it's fine. It feels kind of anime to me, and I have never really watched anime, so I could be completely wrong, but that's the impression I was getting. But I think it's cool. I think the character design is cool. I haven't seen too much of her in action outside of like 2 action sequences, 1 in each issue, that were both pretty quick. I would like to know more about the ghost people that are kind of hanging out with her, because I don't know too much about them yet. But like I said, I really don't have too much to say on this one. I think it was pretty solid, though. I don't know if I'll really keep up with it unless Sebastian makes me, because again, I'm reading a lot. So this might be a situation of, if there's nothing else and Sebastian makes me read it again next time it comes out, then I'll probably read more. Well, I will read more. But but I still think it's solid. I think it's a good one. For the most part, it's not my favorite in the Massiveverse because no one technically is in the Massiveverse, so I would still put that above it. But I do think this is in number 2 out of 3, because I think I like it more than Road Sun, and that's the only 3 that I've read. So I think it's again pretty good. I'm just gonna give it an 8 for the series so far that I've read. I think I gave like 1 a 7 and 1 an 8, but I think they're both pretty good, so I'll give it an 8.
Nice. Yeah. So I read 4, and I enjoyed this one a lot more than 3. I think 3 so far has been my least favorite of all of them, of the 4 that I've read. But 4 went more in depth on the ghost and basically why she can talk to them and why they're even a thing. And you see a bit more action, and she kind of she learns a bit more about how to use her powers. And so, I'm starting to enjoy this one definitely a lot more. But I still quite enjoy this one. I personally have enjoyed the Massiveverse. No one is my least favorite so far of the ones that I've read.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, compared to Rogue Sun and this one,
Yeah. All right. Well, what did you give it?
This one, I give it an 8.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, we can transition into the one that I made you read. Void Rivals number 4 for me in particular, but Sebastian read 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
So I know you were not super high on the first issue that we both read.
Yes.
That being said, where do you fall on this now?
Well, I don't know if you'll be surprised to know, but this was my pick of the week this week.
This was also my pick of the week.
Okay, it's just based 2, 3, and 4, like amazing, like such a big step up from the first one in my opinion. Like holy cow. 2 specific. I'm not gonna go too deep because I know you have reviewed 2, 3, and 4. 2 and 3.
Yep.
But man, especially at least 3 and 4. Okay, I'll 3 and 4 were a huge step up.
Yeah, I personally 2 is my least favorite issue of the bunch so far.
Yeah, because 3 really went in depth, and honestly, if I had read this from the beginning, I would have freaked out in the review because it had a quintessence
Yeah.
And that's from the Transformers universe, and I would have known that instantly, and I would have like freaked out on you.
But Sebastian, Jetfire is literally in the first issue. Like you
I
knew
know
that Transformers were in this.
Okay. I'm not saying that I didn't know Transformers.
Okay.
Were in this. I knew Transformers were in this, but you didn't tell me a quintessence was in it.
I definitely did say that in the last issue.
You told me it was a Squid Man.
I said Quintesson. I pronounced it differently, but I did say the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, have you seen the original Transformers movie?
I have not. I have only seen 4 of the Michael Bay movies, and that's it.
Oh my god!
I know it's my only exposure to Transformers.
Okay. Well, basically, I geeked out a little bit because you see a Quintesson and he's in the movie, and then you also see his ship, which is also in the movie. And so I was geeking out a little bit, and then in number 4, I geeked out again because you see Shockwave.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Who I did not know who that was when he first showed up.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I thought it was an Autobot initially.
No!
I know that's wrong now, but I thought that initially.
Oh my god, dude! Don't tell my little brother that. Oh
yeah,
man. I get a lot of Transformers knowledge from him. Oh man, but yeah, I geeked out a little bit. I even sent him pictures. I was like, "Yo, this is Shockwave, right?" He's like, "Hey, my guy." Oh, yeah. But yeah, man. But story. Okay, let me talk about the story now for a little. Let's talk about the story of a little bit. Number 4, it's the aftermath of the Solila betraying
Darek.
Is it Darek? Okay, I was gonna say Derek.
It's I say Darek, but it could be. It looks like it's a more futuristic setting, so I don't want to call one of the characters Derek, a very normal Earth name.
No, exactly. That's why I was like, okay, yeah, we'll just say Darek. But yeah, so he gets thrown into jail. And then Solila tries to not tries to plead, but she asks what's gonna happen to him. And they're basically like, yeah, we're just gonna come up to a deal. And she's like, okay, great, he's not gonna get hurt. And that like piques her sides. Is it an emperor?
Yeah, I don't remember his name. It starts with a Z. It's really long.
Yeah.
But I think he's the leader of the Zeratonia or the Zertonians.
Yeah, Zertonians. Yeah. And so he's like, what you mean? You care for this dude? And she's like, well, no, I just, he helped me get off world. I'd hate for something to happen to him now. And he's like, did you see his face? And before she can even respond, she also gets thrown into jail. And we get a big reveal at the end.
Yeah.
Showing that the Zertonians and Argonians are choosing to be at war with each other, I guess.
Well, but also, I don't even know, because the 2 of them seem to be cooperating, both the Agorian and...
exactly, which means that, like, since they know each other, and they're, like, they actively, like, cooperate with each other, that means they're letting the fact that their civilizations are at war with each other, rather than just come to peace. So, yeah, so that's a big mystery that's got to be solved now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I like, that really hooked me. This whole issue, I think, was really just also, I want to give credit here as well. Robert Kirkman's the writer. Lorenzo De Felici is the artist. Art looks really great here, I think, as well. Yeah, for some reason, it just really all clicked with me in this issue, to the point where I'm, like, now really looking forward to the next one in a way that I wasn't previously. Yeah, I will say, if I had one complaint about this issue, like, it's cool to see a Transformer again in here, but the Shockwave appearance felt really random, and
it did. Like, it was very much thrown in there.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, here he is for 2 pages. All right, we're done. It doesn't connect to the story right now at all. We're done.
It was very thrown in there.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I kept going with this. I always kind of knew, because I've been also reading Invincible recently for the first time. And I was thinking to myself when I was starting it, like, because I knew the Omni-Man twist, so I was like, man, how cool would this have been to have been reading this when it came out and see that on the ground floor? Because, like, the first like 7 issues of that series are very standard superhero stuff. They're well written, but they're not, like, breaking the wheel. So I had a similar thing where I was like, this so far isn't really doing it for me, but I think, like, Kirkman might just really bring it out of the park here. And I don't think there's been a twist as big as that yet, but yeah, this one really it clicked with me a lot. So I gave it an 8. It is my pick of the week. I would probably give it. It's probably closer to like an 8.5. I just don't think I'm quite at a 9, so I'm gonna stick with 8.
Yeah.
This for now, but I still think it's very good.
Yeah, I gave it a 9. I think it's great. I think I've really enjoyed this one. Just catching up with it was like I finished 2 and I was like okay, and then I finished 3. I was like holy shit, I want to read 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good, really good.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for the Transformers comic.
That's next week. Really looking forward to that. Yeah, looks really good. Okay, let's see. Moving on here. Want to do Avengers?
Avengers, yeah.
I really don't have much to say on this one. This is written by Jed MacKay.
Yeah, no, I don't have a lot to say on this one either.
Series regular artist is not on this one. This is a fill-in job by Ivan Fiorelli. I don't like the art quite as much as I have in the previous ones, but I still think it's solid enough.
To be honest, I didn't really notice that much of a difference.
Yeah. Not a whole lot goes on here. It's also like really funny to me how Scarlet Witch is the only character on the cover when she's only in literally one panel of this issue.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that one either.
Yeah, this is really like only 4 Avengers really get play. It's Carol, it's Vision, and then it's Sam and T'Challa up on the ship. Yeah, at this point, the stuff with the fuck, I don't even remember their names. Meridian Diadem, I think, is one of them. Yeah. The people from the Impossible City thing. Their fights with the Avengers on Earth, I just don't give a shit about right now. I think they're not that interesting. They all, and it's like kind of jumping around between them, and they all feel like they're similar things, and it's like all the Avengers are split up right now as well, so it barely even feels like a team book. And I think the most interesting part of this is probably the Black Panther, Sam Wilson, Captain America on the ship. That's the more interesting angle of this. But even then, I don't think it's incredible. I do like the angle that the ship is just like not wanting to help out these guys, and it's just like the ship has no real choice. And I also do love the point where the ship is just like, yeah, so I'm out of options. I'm just gonna fucking self-destruct and just. Sorry, Avengers, your world's still gonna die, but at least no other world is gonna die. So I thought that was, but that's kind of all that really happens. And I don't know. I felt this was kind of mid, to be honest. I didn't really. This one didn't gel with me too much.
Now that we're talking about it, honestly, I feel like the story is like in a stagnant state at this point.
It's so decompressed. It is ridiculous. It's been a while since I've seen a series that is this decompressed. Yeah.
They're like really dragging this out, I feel like way longer than they really need to, honestly.
Yeah.
And
like the next issue is the end of the arc, and I'm like, how? Like little has happened.
They gotta seriously wrap this up, because like we didn't get any new content for Thor's fight, Iron Man's fight, Scarlet Witch's fight. Because Carol's we got a bit. Yeah. How she can't hurt her dude at all. Yeah. And she's just resorted to just saving people at this point.
Yeah, the guy that she's fighting is essentially Baldur from God of War 2018.
Yeah. Like, you can't do anything to me.
Yeah.
Vision's fight, she has like basically like has like an entire universe living inside of her, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
And she like releases that on Vision, which I feel like I feel like that shouldn't work because I thought he could go intangible.
Yeah, he has control over his density.
Literally, I don't know. He just lets them grab him, I guess, for some reason.
For dramatic tension, Sebastian. It's for the audience.
It's for the audience, yeah. So that's a thing. But besides that, like, we just got this panel at the end showing Thor, Iron Man saying, like, no.
Hey. Yeah. I don't really have much to say on it. Like I said, pretty mid. It's a shame because I like Jed MacKay and I want to see where he's going with this. And I, especially after the shit show that was Jason Aaron's run, the one that hit before this, I'm hoping this picks up because I haven't disliked it, but this one in particular, I was like, come on, like, what are we doing? This is something needs to pick up. Yeah.
Like, something needs to happen at this point. Like, the most we got was the fact that the ship was like, I'm just gonna just die.
Yeah. So, this is mid for me. I give this a 6 out of 10. Hopefully this is better.
Yeah, I had it as a 7, but I honestly think I'm gonna put it down to a 6.
Yeah, I think 6 is where it's at. Yeah.
Now that we're talking about it, like I knew nothing happened, but now that we talked about it, like Jesus Christ, when is something gonna happen?
Yeah, right. That's the benefit of this show, Sebastian. We can bounce ideas off of each other and yeah, have an outlet for this. Now you know how I fucking feel. Like before we started doing this, I was just like all these thoughts were just swirling in my head. I was like, none of my friends care about comics. Who can I talk about this to?
I'm gonna give it. Yeah, put it down to a 6 here.
Let's do Green Arrow now.
Green Arrow.
So you read all 4, right?
I read all 4.
So this is written by Joshua Williamson. The artist is Sean Zakshi. How are you feeling on this?
Okay, gonna be honest. I'm really not sure how to feel about this.
Yeah, I'm kind of neither. I liked this issue more than 3. 3 was the low point so far for me, I think, where I was like, I'm not sure if I want to keep going with this. I think this is an improvement.
I will agree with that. I just don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole sci-fi thing with Green Arrow, I just don't know if that really works.
That's what I was going to mention. It's like so like time travel and dimension heavy, and it's like, what the hell, man? This guy just shoots arrows.
Yeah, a bunch of technology that just like he doesn't even understand. So it's like, how can you try to explain it to us when you're like, I don't know. Yeah, I think this one definitely benefited from the Parallax Hal Jordan being in it, but even then, I think the story is just too split up and too sci-fi heavy.
That's the thing. I think
work with him
when it's focusing on Ollie, I think it's good. But it jumps around a lot, and some of the stuff like with the Legion of Superheroes in the future, I'm like, I don't even remember this being part of the series, and I don't give a shit about it right now. Like, so I think Joshua Williamson really gets Oliver's voice like really well. I think he nails the writing for him. Like there's a moment in this issue where he and Hal are talking, and then Ollie's just like, fuck this, I've had enough of this, and he just like puts his fist up and he's like, let's fucking go. And Hal's like, what the fuck are you doing? Have you fucking lost your mind? Are you insane right now? Like, so I love that, just like the impulsiveness of Ollie, just some of his stuff that was really fun. Also, I just want to mention this because you just read the first issue as well. Love the chainsaw arrow in the first issue. Just really, I love creative trick arrows in these things, and that's the only one I've seen so far.
But besides the boxing glove one.
Yeah, but I mean, did we see that in this series though?
Yeah, in this one, yeah.
Oh, see, I don't remember that. Because this is another one that suffers because Night Terrors made it go on pause for 2 months in between.
Yes.
I do like the cliffhanger on this one where he shows up and there's future Ollie there, and he's like, yo, we're in this big burned out city now. This is what happens when your family stays together. So I'm assuming what's going to happen is that next issue will be a lot of answers from old Oliver in the future city, and then big climactic battle in issue 6. Because this was initially supposed to be a 6-issue miniseries, it got extended due to high sales, so it's now going to be 12 issues. But so I think that's this first arc is going to conclude with a big battle there, and with Ollie being reunited with his family. And then I think maybe we'll get some more street stuff in the second half of the series. So I did like this issue. I think I kind of, having a couple months break from it, I think kind of helped. Because I should mention, I fucking love Green Arrow as a character. Like, he's so fun. He's a way better version of Hawkeye. And I like Hawkeye too. But,
100%.
So I really like seeing, I just like that Green Arrow has his own series again right now. And so I'm going to keep reading it. And I think this issue was pretty solid, actually. I think this is one of the better issues of the series. But I get where you're coming from. I think this could fall apart, but right now I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10.
Okay. I think I'm going to finish this first arc at this point, just because there's maybe 2 more.
There'll be 2 more. Yeah.
2 more. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about the whole sci-fi thing. I'll check out the first one in the next arc, and if I'm still not sure how to feel about it, I'll stop. But
fair enough.
Right now, I think I'd give it a 7. Honestly.
Okay. Yeah. That's the other thing is, like, I feel like I should be reading this book because it's written by Williamson, and he's kind of shepherding a lot of the DC universe right now.
Yeah. All right, let's go Ultimate Vision.
Okay. So this is Ultimate Vision number 4. This is the finale for this series. But not for it is, but it isn't, because like also there's a one shot coming in early November called Ultimate Universe, which is kind of the actual finale to this miniseries. Yeah, written by Jonathan Hickman, and the artist is Brian Hitch. So this essentially, yeah, it's just kind of a big battle. The Maker and a bunch of other people end up getting trapped in the city, and at the end, that kind of council of kind of continental heads, I guess you could call them, continental heads of state, are like, hey, yeah, we don't know what'll happen in there, and for us, it'll be, what, 3 years or 2 years?
It would have been 3 years for them.
3 years for them, and they're like, it'll be 2,000 years or 3,000 years for them inside the dome. So who knows what'll happen in there? Right.
They are assuming it's going to be 3,000.
Essentially, now I'm almost entirely convinced that Ultimate Universe will be the dome opens and it's the new Ultimate Universe in there that has been born since that time period. So yeah, I think this is still solid. You know, I think it's not as good as the last issue. I know you disagree with me on that because you didn't like the last issue, but I still think it's solid. I think my thing is, I think Jonathan Hickman is one of those writers that works best when he has a longer running series to work with and really develop ideas. So like, I think he falls in that category. I think also Al Ewing and Chip Zdarsky both fall into that category. And so as a result, I don't think this format of a miniseries like this is necessarily the best showcase of of him at his best, but still think it's solid. The art works fine enough. I think there's some really cool double page spreads in there that are, that show some cool stuff. One thing I actually did want to ask you, I think it's mostly confirmed, but not entirely. The Kang in this is Howard Stark, right? A future version of Howard.
Okay, so I had thoughts about that.
Yeah.
So we clearly saw Iron Lad get introduced in here.
Yeah.
Right?
But suit... Tony is Iron Lad in this instead of Nathaniel Richards. Yeah.
Yes. Tony Stark is Iron Lad in this universe, and his suit looked very similar to that Kang suit. Okay. Just different colors.
That's fair, actually, and usually Iron Lad is a different version of Kang anyway.
So I think it's actually Tony, and that's why Howard's face looked like that.
Okay. Yeah, that could be as well. I just think the way that I don't know. There's a point where Kang is like, "Come on, Howard, you know who I am," and I was like,
yeah.
And then so I was like, this could be Howard?" But yeah, you could be right there.
See, so like his face looking like that is because he basically killed his own son, right? Because he killed everybody in the dome.
Okay, but did he kill them all though? I don't really.
I'm pretty sure he.
I wasn't entirely clear on that. Okay.
I think everybody in the dome died. I think everybody in the dome, because when the thing went off, right? He came out of the suit, and everybody around him was either dead or unconscious. One of the two.
Right. But I assumed he was in the city, though, right?
No, not in the city. Just in where the dome was encapsulated.
But wait, hang on. But isn't the dome covering the entire city?
I don't think so. Not from what it looked like in the picture, in the drawing, what they drew. Because the Continental Heads, they're not trapped in the dome.
Right, but they're also outside the city. They're not part of the city.
Maybe I don't know. Everybody in that lab area.
I think I don't think it did kill everyone in the dome, even then, because like life had to survive for more life to develop in the 3,000 years that they're going to be in there. So I don't know. So I don't know. Where do you fall on this, just overall though, outside of discussions on what's going on here?
I enjoyed it. I like seeing a bit more of the Maker stuff going on, and him. I don't even know if he even knew what was going on in the end there. I really don't have a lot of words to say about this besides just speculation and just assumptions. But
we'll have a better idea on this, I think, in November. When Ultimate Universe comes out, and then obviously Ultimate Spider-Man in January.
Unlike you, I like this one better than the.
Yeah, I didn't like the last one. I just think the last one was more interesting written. Writing. But I give this a 7. And even thinking about it, part of me wants to drop this to a 6, but I don't think I'll go that low. I think I'll keep it at 7.
Yeah, I have this at an 8, and I think it's fitting enough because I liked the mystery behind the whole thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, that leaves only one more issue for the week. The Immortal Thor #2.
Sure, Immortal Thor #2.
So as with the last one, writer Al Ewing, artist Martin Kokolo. Just want to shout out before we talk anything about the story, that cover is just fucking awesome. Love it. Alex Ross, what a goat. Yeah, fantastic cover. Okay, so anyway, I feel much about this issue as I did about the first one, in that the first half was not super loving it.
Yeah.
But then the second half, I was like, oh, here we go. All right, let's go. Which is interesting, because I was expecting the fight with Tornos to be the part that I really liked in this issue, because I was really into that setup from last issue. But I didn't think it was that great. I mean, it's kind of cool how Thor defeated him. But at the same time, like, I don't know if the winds would have really blown Tornos back.
That's honestly what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
Like, you really think of this god that's stronger than Thor really just gonna get pushed by winds, bro?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
But yeah, this issue really picks up for me when Thor runs into Loki in the back half.
Yeah.
And Loki's asking all these questions like, do you trust me as a loyal subject? Was it family or as a friend?
I think it was friend.
Okay. And then as an enemy. And so that whole thing, that whole sequence there, and Loki was like clearly kind of like off put by something. Like he felt really paranoid to me in that sequence.
Yes.
And I think that was really interesting. Like, what the hell is going on there? And I think that whole scene was really well written. I think all of Thor's thought bubbles there are really well written. I think just already Al Ewing's doing a really good job of capturing the voice of Thor. And I know Al Ewing has written for Loki before, so obviously, like, that's not an issue. But then, yeah, Loki turns into a different version of Loki at the very end and is like, all right, Thor, you got shit coming towards you.
Yep.
And also the other thing is that Thor is trying to fight off the Odin sleep right now because he used the all power. So, yeah.
What did he use the all power for? Was it to make the hole that he pushed Tornos in?
So I think it was partially to make some really big lightning. And then also to rebuild New York after it got destroyed.
Okay, well, yeah. I forgot about that he, like, turned back time.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is, again, good issue. I'm really into it now, again, because this is the back half. I hope this isn't the case every issue, where the back half is the part that I really, really am interested in. But, I mean, the next issue just sounds so fucking cool, man. Like, the place where this should be going next issue is just awesome. I mean, like listen to this fucking synopsis. Thor in the wilderness, as Tornos hunted him across the stars, the Odinson found himself trapped, marooned in a puzzle the size of a planet. In his place, the Allfather's crown and even his own godly strength availed him nothing. What power then would save him? This is the story of the immortal Thor and the time of the trickster's test. Like, so with the Odin sleep encroaching on him, with Tornos still hunting him, with him being trapped on this weird planet, and whatever's going on with Loki, like, there's so much interesting stuff going on here. And so I'm really looking forward to the future of this series, and I hope that it sells well enough that it can go on for as long as Al Ewing wants it to. So again, I think this had a real shot at being my pick of the week if the first half had been a little bit more interesting. As it is, though, I still liked it a lot. Gonna give it an 8 out of 10, but not quite there for me yet.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the battle with Tornos is gonna be a lot better, in my opinion. I think it's not that good right now because of the fact that just Thor wasn't ready for him, right?
Right.
So he's basically like, okay, I'm just gonna push you back and we're gonna postpone. I know you don't want to, but I want to, and so that's what's gonna happen. And so so the second half with Loki was definitely a lot more interesting, and I think they said that Loki turned into like storytelling Loki is what it was.
Yeah, but I think Loki's been the god of stories for a little while now, so I don't really know what's going on there.
Yeah, so I don't really. I know he was the god of stories because they said that in the first one.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this new form is going to be, or supposed to be, I guess I should say. But I also gave this an 8.
Yeah.
I also gave it an 8. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still really excited for it. I'm gonna read every issue of this series, even if I don't like it, because Al Ewing has written some of my favorite comics ever. So I cannot rule out that he's gonna do it again.
I haven't disliked what I've read so far, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I think so far I'd put Immortal Hulk above this, and I would also say I don't like this quite as much as X-Men Red, but then this is probably third so far for me from him. Although I'm not caught up on Venom, so that might sway me as well. Anyway, that'll wrap it up. Next week is actually going to be a little bit of a lighter one, I think, because Sebastian's pull list is really small next week.
Mine is really small next week.
But big stuff. The next major chapter of Gotham War comes out. First of all, new issue of Birds of Prey. As you know, if you listen to the last episode we talked about that, I really like that first issue quite a lot.
Yes.
We also have Fantastic Four fighting the dinosaurs, but they have Avenger powers, so that could be kind of fun. But the big, I think, Sacrificers as well. I'm going to give that one more issue, I think, but I'm still not sure on that one. New Shazam as well. That series is quite good. The big two, though, are the new Transformers series, which I already kind of talked about a little bit, but that looks really good. It's written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson, and I mean that cover is fucking awesome, man. Like it's just so good. So, and I've read the 3-page preview that was in the back of Void Rivals, and it just seems cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And then also, the other one I'm really excited for is God's #1 finally is here next week.
Finally.
Jonathan Hickman's next major project. Really looking forward to this. Apparently, this is solicited as an 8-issue series with the potential to become an ongoing if sales are good enough. So I'm hoping it's great. This looks really interesting. And so I love that we still know so little about it. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. So yeah, that's what I got. You got anything to shout out next week?
I don't. I really don't. Yeah, no.
All right.
You've got the big two.
All right. Well, in that case, thank you everybody for sticking with us through this another long episode. Thank you for watching or listening. If you're on YouTube, you can, of course, like the video and subscribe, and you can hit the bell notification if you want to know more about when we upload and stuff like that. You can also leave us a comment telling us what your favorite issue of the week was and what are you looking forward to most from next week. Then on Spotify, if you're on Spotify, you can, of course, follow the show over there. And you can also email us at earthsmightiestcomicspod@gmail.com, all one word with no apostrophe in the word Earth. That's where you can go if you want to let us know kind of what your thoughts on the show are or what your thoughts on comic scenes are right now. And then, again, maybe I'll put a poll in for the best issue of the week. I probably won't because I haven't been able to make it work the last couple of weeks. But if it works, it'll be there. So you can vote in that as well. I'd love to know what other people's thoughts are on these comics that we are reading. But yeah, that'll do it for this week. So thanks again for watching or listening, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye.